Hello and welcome again to investingsuccess.ca and another of our short video installments in which we take a look at human emotion, astrology, and the financial markets. In this installment, I want to take a look at the Nasdaq index. You're looking at now a horoscope wheel for the date at which the Nasdaq exchange was formally created and launched into business, and that is the 8th of February 1971. I've configured this wheel as per the McWhorter methodology, and the one thing that does jump off this page is the fact that Sun is at a 90-degree aspect to Saturn. This gives me a very strong hint that going forward, somehow, some way, Saturn may play a significant role in helping one navigate his or her way through the ups and downs of the Nasdaq Composite Index. Now let's take a look a little bit closer, having mentioned that Saturn probably plays a role in helping us navigate through Nasdaq. Here's a monthly nearest chart of Nasdaq futures going back to 1997 and bringing you right up to the present time. You can see from this chart that Saturn was making a 90-degree hard aspect to the natal Sun position when? Back in 2000. What did Nasdaq do in 2000? It reached its all-time high. And it's very curious how that tended to align with that Saturn 90-degree hard aspect to the natal Sun. And shortly after that aspect was made, we had another outer heavyweight planet in the form of Uranus making its transit past the natal Sun. And in the McWhorter methodology, she does caution that some of these outer planets, as slow-moving as they are, as they make their transits past the natal Sun position in stocks or indices or commodities, you have to be very careful. And sure enough, look at what happened here. As Uranus made that transit past natal Sun, it took a good long while. And as it did, Nasdaq was falling and falling rather nastily to the downside. From 2004 to 2009, you can see that Nasdaq had a nice rally into the highs of 08 and then gave it all back into the lows of 09. What was happening at that time? Well, you had another heavyweight. You had Neptune making its very slow, deliberate passage past that natal Sun. Shortly after the 2009 lows, you had another heavyweight in the form of Jupiter, and it passed the natal Sun, and actually it tended to align very well to those 2009 lows. And since Jupiter has made its passage, we've seen Nasdaq have a pretty good move to the upside. But now, that brings us to the present time. Saturn is again making its 90-degree aspect to that natal Sun position. And unfortunately, along the way, Saturn is going to have a retrograde period where it appears to move backwards in the zodiac wheel. So this passage of the natal Sun is not going to be a clean 90-degree transit. It's going to take a while, and in fact, it's going to take until November of this year before it is fully past that 90-degree aspect and out of the way. So over the next several months, I do expect Nasdaq to be very sensitive, very choppy, very erratic as Saturn makes that 90-degree hard aspect. So some caution is definitely warranted. And I'll wrap up my discussion of Nasdaq with one closing observation, and that is let's try to apply some mathematics to look at some of the retracements. So if you take a look at the magnitude of the decline from the 2000 peak into 2002, where it made a low and a turning point, and if you take the magnitude of that and start applying some Fibonacci retracement values to it, you'll see that they don't actually work, oddly enough. However, if you do take that decline from 2000 till 2002, and you look at the recovery that unfolded from 2002 until the market made its next high in 2007, you will see that that recovery is actually a 0.35 recovery. So like I say, not a Fibonacci number, but certainly something of significance. Now, if you take that 2000 till 2002 decline, and you treat everything since then as a general recovery, you'll see that we are currently sitting at something like a 0.71 recovery. So not Fibonacci again. So what are 0.35? What are 0.71? Where do they come from? Well, here's where it gets very peculiar. If you take the number 2, Take the square root of 2. That gives you 1.414. Take half of that. There's your 0.71. Take half of that again. There's your 0.35. It is not often on stocks, commodities, indices that you will see fractions of the root of 2 coming into play. 99% of the time it is those Fibonacci retracements. So Nasdaq is definitely an oddball, a peculiarity in the fact that it seems to align to the mathematics of the square root of 2. But also, if you consider that it seems to be influenced by Saturn, that too in itself is not something that commonly occurs. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for now, and these are the things, like I say, that we talk about in the Astrology E-Alert, which is my subscriber-based newsletter, and I issue it once a week to subscribers. And we explore all facets of astrology, and we look at different stocks and commodities and indices. As always, you can find me at investingsuccess.ca. You can follow my blogs at astrologicaltrading.wordpress.com, and you can find me on LinkedIn in my GAN charting and discussion group, and you can sometimes find me on Twitter. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.